Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special exclusive interview. I'm your Wascally cartoonist, Mr. Gray, host of the Mr. Gray Live Show, and fastest coloring book slinger in the West. My guest here today is Zombie Mr. Gray. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to join us here in the studio. Awesome. You know what? We're just going to get right into it. So, your newest coloring book, the Animals and Friends coloring book, Volume 2, Zombie Edition, available on Amazon.com. Is this not the very same, if not exactly the same book that I myself created just a year ago, the Animals and Friends coloring book, Volume 1, also available on Amazon.com? Could you elaborate on what you mean by yes and no? Well, first off, I want to thank you for your bravery. I think it takes a lot of courage to speak out on something like that, a community that is, you know what, I'm stumbling through my words. I guess, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a moment and apologize to the entire undead community. I see now that when I created the Animals and Friends coloring book, Volume 1, I see now that I was focused on the cute, cuddly animals, the fluffy ones, the ones that everybody loves. And I apologize for completely overlooking the undead community. And on behalf of all living creatures, I apologize. And I hope that you can forgive me for that. But, yeah, cookies are good. Anyways, let's go into the layout of the book. The Animals and Friends coloring book, Volume 2. Is it laid out differently, the same? Could you elaborate on just really what we're looking at here as a buyer? That's very cool. So if you already have the Animals and Friends coloring book, Volume 1, what Zombie Mr. Gray is essentially trying to say is they are laid out exactly the same. The covers are the same. The interiors are the same. Everything is in the exact same order. But what's cool with this book is that everything is zombified. So if you actually have both books, it would be fun to put them next to each other, flip page by page, and actually see the transition firsthand. So if you are going to go ahead and pick up this book, which I highly suggest you do, it's an incredible amount of fun. Head over to Amazon, pick up this book, and when you're there, you know what? Pick up the first one as well. It's not going to hurt you, and you are going to be so happy that you did. And again, that's super cool. I love that you stuck with the same layout. So, I don't know. This guy knows what he's doing. But aside from that, let's go ahead and let's dive into special features. So, with my other coloring books, 3 coloring books available on Amazon.com, I always added a special feature, a treasure hunt, maybe a fun little pattern page. What can people expect with Volume 2 of Animals and Friends? Fingers. I think I know what Zombie Mr. Gray is trying to... Correct me if I'm wrong. What he's trying to say is, in this book, just like Animals and Friends Volume 1, there are 8 hidden items that you have to find throughout the book, and Zombie Mr. Gray so graciously made it brains, severed feet, a severed arm, and fingers. So if you have this book, there is a super secret treasure hunt that you have to find. So if you want to take a break from coloring and hone your sleuthing skills and search through the book and try to find it, it's a whole lot of fun, and I'm imagining that you hid them pretty well. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So let's, you know what? I got a lot of notes here. Let's go ahead and talk about the look and feel of the book. Now, I noticed that you went with a colored cover, which is super cool. It's a very nice blue, very nice yellows. You know what? If I set this down for a second, we have a book in the studio right now this is it. And I have to tell you, holding it, it's very heavy. If I held this for a while, I would form some type of carpal tunnel or would need some support system on my hand because, as you can see, it is a very, very thick coloring book. This took you a lot of time, I bet. Mm-hmm. So if I just were to give it my unbiased review, I would say this is easily the best coloring book ever created in the world. And I would imagine that, I mean, it's just beautiful. If we just look through this, you can see, let me find a really cool page. So if we just look at this, I mean, the detail in this book is just, it's honestly, it's nothing I've seen before. It's incredible. But yeah, the weight's good, the color's good. I love the yellow binding. If we look at the back here, we have our fake facts. These are the hidden items that Zombie Mr. Gray has put in there. They are very disgusting, so good work on that. We have an ear, a thumb, a nose, a hand, and this is just very, very well done. I'm impressed. Good work with that. Let me go ahead and set this down if you guys don't mind. So don't forget, guys, that is available on Amazon.com, and I believe there are also 3 other coloring books that you could pick up as well and start your collection. So let's actually talk about the coloring pages in this book. How many pages are there exactly to color? 74. You know what? He went with the same number that I went with on my past 3 coloring books. So there are 74 pages to color in here, plus that super secret treasure hunt, which is pretty amazing. But we're going to switch gears, though. We're going to talk about the interior. I know I already kind of showed you a little bit about the interior, but let's talk about the interior. Now, when it comes to the interior of this book, and I'm trying to put this in a way that's not going to offend you, when you think zombies and you think undead, you don't think cute and fluffy. And so sometimes it can be scary and gruesome to look at an undead creature. No offense, because I personally think you look great. I mean, no makeup. You look great. But in terms of the characters themselves, is this going to be something that children can color? And is not in no way going to give them any nightmares. Okay. I mean, no. I mean, you do look. I said I was not trying to offend you. I think you look great. I think everybody in the studio agrees that. I mean, if it was a competition between you and I, you would probably win, most likely. But I need you to focus. Let's talk about the interior. This won't give children nightmares. It's children friendly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, boogers and slime. I got it. Anyways, guys, there are 74 pages to color, and there's a great treasure hunt in here. It's great quality. It's very thick. It's hours and hours of fun, and the detail in this book is something I've never seen before. He's actually making me feel like I need to up my game a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that being said, this is a great coloring book. It's great for the Halloween season, and if you actually color through this in the next couple weeks, which I gotta say, you probably won't because it's pretty thick. Don't forget to always pick up the my first 3. I have a food coloring book, The Animals and Friends, Volume 1, obviously, and my latest one, Mr. Gray's Animal Mashup. So that's a lot of fun. But before we go, I've been wanting to ask you this pretty much the whole time. So Halloween, any plans? You plan on dressing up? I literally did not see that coming at all. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, Zombie Mr. Gray, for joining us here in the studio. Don't forget, guys, to head over to Amazon, pick up my brand new coloring book. His brand new coloring book, The Animals and Friends Coloring Book, Volume 2, Zombie Edition, available now on Amazon.com. That's why I told you to go there. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, How to Draw with Mr. Gray, where you can actually learn how to draw the zombies that are in this coloring book. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Quick Draw McDrew, and of course, my personal website, quickdrawmcdrew.com. So that's going to do it here at our studio. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your, what I can imagine is incredibly busy schedule. And I hope you guys have fun, and happy Halloween.